My name is Rex45. You're listening to the B4evaKool podcast.
My name is TJ with Two Wheels and Coffee.
What's going on, man?
In MotoGP, riding season. That's all I can do. Uh, it's currently raining. The leaves are falling as the rain is going, and
Uh-huh.
it's falling for real. It's falling into the winter.
I don't know about that life right now, man. I don't know about that life right now. I gotta say, I had to stop looking at Boston weather last week because I realized it was messing with my psyche, thinking that looking at the weather in Boston and thinking that's what it is outside, and that's not what it is.
You just had the interest to be like, that's what they're going through, huh?
Yeah, pretty much. It might be that, man. I don't know. It might be that, but
Yeah, I'm still in the hoodie. You got a t-shirt on over there, you know.
yeah, t-shirt on, AC on.
Oh man.
So I
I
am,
got the heat on.
man. Listen, man. Hey, there's room down here, man. So you can always make your way down.
Yeah, sometime, when I
Uh,
retire, I guess.
well, shoot, man. I wish I was retiring, but it is what it is. It's. I'll have to say this. It's nice to have warm weather because I'm definitely getting on my street bike more. So that's exciting. And I don't miss the cold.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Not looking forward to it. It's coming soon.
No doubt. So, I mean, I guess we should just jump right into it, man. I mean, you know,
Back to back races,
back to
So,
back races. What do you think? What do you think about the sprint? I mean, even Moto 3 it was incredible. You got a rookie winning the race. That's incredible.
yeah,
Moto 2 incredible. Furman Aldegier. This guy should have been doing what Pedro was doing last year, and he's just coming into his form the end of this year. So, but because in the European Championship, that dude was a beast when Pedro was on Moto 3 winning that championship. So I don't know if the transition from the European Honda Moto 2 bike versus the Triumph Moto 2 bike, I think it was a bigger step for him than Pedro coming from Moto 2 to Moto 3 to Moto 2.
yeah. I mean, you definitely gotta make that smoother transition, but I think he's a good rider. He deserved it. So, I'll be rooting for Aaron Canet, and he didn't.
Bad luck,
He
Aaron.
blew it. He in P2, starting on the grid. So that would have been, probably a better fight to see at the end. Um, with
Yeah,
them too.
I don't, it's unfortunate for him because he's a talented dude, and he doesn't he doesn't do well at closing out races he's leading in, or when he's running out front. He doesn't he should be on way more podiums than he's. Think about
Yeah,
the amount of times he's crashed out. It's just he should have way more podiums than what he currently have. So I think he needs to you know sit down with the likes of Rossi and some of these experienced riders and just learn how to get your mind in a place where when you're in front, when you're running out front, you can still stay calm because it seems like he gets I don't want to say excited because I don't know what it is, but
I
he
mean
does something to cause him to crash.
it's a really tough task, man. I'm sure. I mean, leading the front when there's a whole pack chasing you.
Right.
It's just a whole different beast. But knowing that Pedro Acosta wasn't in the front, that would have been a better chance for him.
That's that
So it's good. It's good that Algier got that win.
is the downside of not having mirrors. You can't see who's behind you. You just hear a buzzing sound or sounds.
Yeah, I have a bad habit of peeking over my shoulder every now and then.
Yeah.
Uh, but it's that no mirrors. You just once you hear a buzz coming, someone's making a move.
Yeah, no, it is, and you got to calm the voices in your head or in the helmet, I should say, because um, it's Yeah, it's hard up front. It's hard up front. I've been fortunate enough to lead a couple, but it's it's nice to set somebody up from behind and pass them whether on the last lap or whatever the case may be. Than it is to stay out front for the whole thing. But that's where you want to be because then you run your race.
Oh, yeah, I don't think I've ever. I mean, I won a race, but it was obviously with other packs of bikes. So I never was in a single race leading the pack. So that hopefully one day,
Hey, listen,
one
man. You get a
day.
lap, you get 2 laps. It's great. You know what I mean? It, you know that's all you can ask for. You never know because the fast guys that they run out front, but that's a mental game to stay out front and to keep that pace and like Jorge did, right? It's you know he's not, we're jumping around a little bit, but I will say that like from a mental perspective, he sorted it out and he was able to do that. So yeah, man. So no, I do agree to go back to Moto 3. To have these young rookies come out and dominate. First, second. That's pretty impressive because you got some guys that's been in Moto 3 for a little while now, and they didn't jump out front and weren't running out front like these young kids.
Yeah, no, it's impressive to see what these young kids got. Those bikes look so light; they throw them around and feel you just a little wind gust and can change the game with all these bikes. And it's crazy to see. I was rooting for the guy since you mentioned him when we first started, Dennis Anchu.
Right.
We had pole position, and he led for the first couple laps. And then after that draft, he jumped back to like fifth and sixth, and it just kept rotating. But uh, the way they can, push those Moto 3 bikes, especially at that age, and not break loose, it's crazy.
Yeah, it's very impressive at the talent level that these young kids are coming out. And yeah, David Alonso, rookie coming out of Colombia on the gas. You know what I mean? And you know, pretty crazy. And but it goes to say, these kids that are coming up in the Cup Series and the level of the racing below Moto 3 is way different today than ever before.
Oh yeah, I mean, the amount of training they have to get to this point, it's crazy. Like coming up in Valencia's, they have the Mini Cup series, so there's so much young talent coming up. You know, very soon.
Right. Oh yeah. Yeah, for sure. I mean, the U.S. is we're growing, and it's a beautiful thing to see. And I think 5 to 10 years from now, it'll be interesting to see the landscape of World Superbike and MotoGP.
Yeah, I wonder if they would have like a mini series for like you know World Superbike, and we see it with the Moto America kids. They got their little mini cups they go around.
Oh
Um,
yeah, I
yeah,
mean it's I think it's Moto, yeah, because shout out to Nathan Betancourt. He's going over, or I think he was over in Spain, to
I think.
run in the series for all these riders. But no, that series is it's global, and that's MotoGP. That's doing it. That's those guys that are doing that. The Cup Series. Cup Series might be wrong. It might not be. It might not be called the Cup Series. But for the young kids, and that's that they're it's like what European soccer has done or European football has done with their camps and stuff like that. These kids now are they're very skillful at a young age.
Yeah, watching these kids of hitting corners and apexes and dragging their knees and stuff. I'm just thinking of what their minds going through. Like, do they understand how we understand, or they're just going through the motion?
Right. I think they understand. You know what I mean? I
Well, I
think
mean,
they.
I know they understand,
Yeah.
but like, it's just,
Go
I
ahead.
don't know. It's just kind of impressive just to see like that they're doing the exact same thing adults are doing,
Right,
you know, at
right,
the
right.
age of 7.
Yeah. No, that's what I was gonna say. I mean, I think they understand because folks are teaching them. Will they fully comprehend? That's a whole different story. They know that if the bike feels like this, you do this, or what I'm saying, that type of thing. Do they fully understand the whole gravity of what they're doing? Probably not. Not even the least bit. You know what I'm saying? To be how young they are, because even not I had to remind my daughter the other day that like you're 12 years old swimming with high school kids, so you're 3 seconds behind them, but like you're 12. You know what I'm saying? So I don't think like young kids understand. They're just competitive, right? They just want
Yeah,
to
right.
go and go, but they don't. I think when they become adults, they'll fully understand what's going on. But no, for as far as the learning and breaking and all that stuff, they just fearless with it.
Yeah, they're very competitive and fearless. Those two go hand in hand with these kids.
Yeah.
Um, Hopefully, yeah. Shout out to Nathan. I'm not sure if that Series Cup passed already. I don't know if they said it was in Valencia when they do it at the end of the year, in November. I'm not 100% sure,
Right. Yeah. And I
but
wasn't
but
sure
I
if it
know
was.
he's invited.
Yeah,
So
I know. I don't know if it was because World Superbike just ended, so I don't think it was part of that. So it might be part of MotoGP, the last round of the MotoGP calendar is what I'm thinking, which is pretty dope because that's the avenue that we need. I wish it was more. It was more. I wish it was more government money going to funding, stuff like this because you know what I mean. It is families. It's a very expensive sport, but the U.S. Needs more representation in the World Superbike and in MotoGP, right? And it's very difficult for families to kind of racing is one of those it's probably more poor people that love racing, but only the rich can really do it well. You know what I'm saying? The rest of us, we're lucky if we get it here and there. So that is the downside of the sport because you need so much capital. It makes it very difficult. And shout out to those families that that stand behind their kids and believe in what their kids are trying to do and put it up because at the end of the day you don't know where you're going to end up, but
exactly.
it's going to be a memory that you'll carry forever.
Oh yeah, and I mean, just being in the racing world now for you know since 2020, 3 years myself, and watching these kids grow from the 3 years I've been there, and always seeing them happy. Um, you know, I think it's great. So the parents definitely doing a good job, keeping their head straight for sure,
Right.
keeping them competitive and respectful.
Yeah.
And that'll take them a long way. And then, like you said, we're room for the U.S. side to reach the more of the professional GP side of
Right.
things.
No,
You know,
definitely, definitely. Like back in the '80s and '90s, man, and early 2000s. What I'm saying. And obviously, I'm not diminishing what Nikki Hayden has done or anything like that when I say early 2000s. But we should have more people out there, and the sport has taken a hit in the U.S. And it's growing again. So that's the exciting part, and the future is exciting, and that's the beautiful thing about motorcycle racing and racing in general because not a lot of people like to race in the world, but a bunch of us
yeah.
do.
And the ones that do, we always think that everyone loves it too,
Yeah.
and
Oh
we
yeah.
always try to show off our races and pictures and stuff. But
Oh, no doubt. No doubt, man. So, yeah, so let's keep it going with Moto 2 a little
yeah,
bit. You know what I'm saying? Jake Dixon is tough. Tony Abolino, tough run. It
yeah,
seems like Pedro's is coasting away with it. But again, I'll go back to Furman. I love what he's doing. I obviously, I know he wish and his camp wish he was doing this sooner
oh, yeah.
because to me, I felt like he was the better of the two riders coming into the series as rookies. He had some bad lucks, and we are where we are now. So I hope he got it sorted out. Because if he does, I think only Lopez, maybe Viete for next year. Who else could catch him if he keeps riding like this? I mean, Ayaguro.
I mean, yeah, Ira Gore, I wish had a better season. I know he's been injured. So yeah, Ira Gore would definitely be one. And I mean, if Aaron Cannett's still around, Aaron Cannett,
Yeah,
sure. But I mean, he's still got a lot to learn. And I mean, we all do. But yeah, I mean, it's just gonna be a select few. I mean, there's always that one that probably jump from Moto 3 and just gel right away
yeah.
and figure it out. Hopefully,
Fagia,
whoever take
Fagia
yeah,
might.
yeah, yeah.
He's up in there. I
So
go ahead.
I was gonna say, so if Pedro leaving, right? So someone taking the KTMC, do
Oh
they
yeah,
get
that's
they get their full package?
Celestina Viete and Dennis
Yeah.
Anchu.
So they get Pedro Acosta's package, or are they gonna
They get
set their own?
they get that team package. It's not the rider
Yeah, I guess
package. That's that
you
team.
know. Okay,
You
that's
remember Gardner and Ramirez was there the years before, right? You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
1 and 2. And they have a winning thing, Akiawa, and so I do yeah, I
KTM riding.
didn't see Celestine going that way. Shout out to the academy for being able to pull that off, because he has to be a front runner for the championship. And like I said, Lopez, Furman, Fagia can get up there. I didn't see Sergio Garcia. He's running all right, but he's still figuring it out. So who knows? Samcat and Ayaguro for sure. Right, they're still gonna be on those bikes next year. Joe Roberts is going back to the American team, which is a
Oh
good look.
yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah.
I think he has, he's missing the consistency. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, think
And
him jumping the MotoGP affected that.
well, the tricky part is this, because I believe he had the opportunity to go to that Aprilia, but they thought the Aprilia was going to suck like every other year it did, but it didn't suck that year. But he turned that bike down with a lot of other Moto 2 rides, and I only know that because Aleix, when he won, he talked about people not wanting to come to Aprilia, riders not wanting to come to Aprilia, and so so it's good that he's still in Moto 2, Roberts, and it's tricky because none of the guys in Ducati is going to leave. None of the guys in KTM is going to want to leave. None of the guys in Aprilia is going to want to leave. So that leaves Yamaha and Honda. And if Ducati's in the top 10, how can you get rid of any of those riders? Right? Because it's 8 bikes, and if they're in the top 10, you can't really get rid of any of the riders. There's no real justification, right? Because so
Unless you're KTM, you always got room for another person.
well, they're betting the money on Acosta, and they're betting the money on Fernandez now, right? So
I mean, Costa don't ride well. You never know. He might be in World Superbike 2
right.
years from now.
So I think Aleix is done at the end of 2024, and he might become a test rider probably for Aprilia. So Aleix's seat may open up, but that could be Oliveira going to the factory seat, or they can pull someone up. And Fernandez, Raul Fernandez, he's riding well for his second year. I think his first year on Aprilia, second year in MotoGP, right?
Yeah.
So I think he's riding well. So I don't think they're gonna get rid of him. But at the end of 2024, I know we're jumping beyond 2023, 2024, but we already know what that's gonna look like. So yeah, so the Moto 2 riders, it's gonna be really hard to say, hey, I deserve a spot. If you're not out there dominating like what Pedro was doing, it's gonna be really hard to say you deserve a shot in Moto 2. In MotoGP, when you got these riders in MotoGP doing really well. I mean, you're talking about a second and a half from the bottom guy to the top guy, right?
Yeah, I mean, there's no margin for error,
Yeah, yeah.
as you see.
So you know what I'm saying. So with that said, let's talk about the MotoGP race. What did you think? What did you think about the sprint? The floor is yours.
Well, I mean, one thing I must say that like we know these guys are fit, we know these guys are like incredible athletes, but to have this many races within a month span, um, and having an added race at that, it's pretty incredible to watch, and especially the front runners just consistently staying up front.
Right.
But with that being said, like Martin rode his ass off.
Yeah. Yeah,
He,
he
he
did.
figured out the tire situation this time. He wasn't gonna have that again.
Right. Well,
So I wasn't really worried about the sprint with him, but the main race had me a little concerned.
yeah. No, I will say he definitely did figure out that like you can't come out and bully people off the track. You're not gonna come out here and just stretch people out. Like he crashed and then he beat the tire up doing that. He realized like you're gonna have to go into this dogfight with these guys, and that's how it's gonna be. You're not gonna be Jorge Lorenzo out here. You're all here Martin. You're gonna be fighting with people. You know what I'm saying? You're not just gonna pull away like and ride. Not to say he can't. Next year he probably could do that. You feel
Oh
what I'm
yeah,
saying? I'm not gonna sit here and say he can't get there. He can't ride like Lorenzo when he's out front, or like a Marquez when he's out front, and even like a Pecco shows it a little bit out front. You know what I'm saying? And be able to manage the tires. He's still learning, and he's a young dude. But he definitely figured like, okay, I'm gonna have to have a dogfight with these guys at the end, and the cards fell in his way.
you see, he's stepping in the right direction. I mean, everyone makes mistakes as you are trying to get improved to your best, and I think next year, or upcoming years, he'll be in the front runner. He
Oh
still
yeah,
has a
yeah, yeah,
chance
yeah, yeah,
this
yeah,
year.
yeah, yeah,
He
yeah,
still, he
yeah,
still has a chance this
yeah.
year for sure. I think Pecco is playing the conservative role. He knows how many mistakes he made the last year and the
Yep.
beginning of the year, just running up front and literally crashing half of his season away up front. And it's
Right.
amazing that he also won because he's always winning first.
Yep.
So he doesn't want to play that game this year with leading in points, especially. So you can kind of tell Martine's aggression opposed to his,
Yep.
but he also wrote his ass off.
Yeah. No, he definitely did. And you know, there's some fortune that has to happen there because Brad, Brad, come on, stay off the green at the last lap, bro. Stay off the green. Got demoted so many times. 3 times you got demoted for exceeding track limits. 3 times.
And I wanted Brad to win this
Oh
race,
yeah, 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 yeah.
just because I know he's not fighting for anything,
But
but he's another one who deserves a fresh podium, not in the rain
right.
or a nice fought fight. But and that would have put him back in his second, and that would have changed the points
Oh yeah.
difference. But
No, I think as a rider, you'd prefer to be out front and have a 3-second lead, right? But as a fan, it's better when it's a dogfight. It's
oh
better.
yeah, this race is a dogfight. So like Martin didn't lead for more than 2 seconds the whole race,
Yeah.
and I think Brad Bender was probably point one,
Yeah.
probably the whole race
Yeah. Yeah.
behind him,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
and overtook a few times, maybe led a lap or two,
Hey,
but
hey,
Martin just blocked past his way back in.
yeah. Hey, listen, man. If Pecco if that pass would have worked, it would have been over.
Oh yeah,
It would have been
oh
over.
yeah.
If that pass would have been worked,
Martin said, "Nope, you ain't getting by." Pecco was
if
waiting.
yeah, man. Listen, if he would have got away with that, bro, man, that would have
Martin,
crushed Martin. That would have crushed him. Like yeah,
yeah,
because especially when you see the replay, you saw how fast. I shouldn't say fast. You saw how quick he overtook both of them real quick. Brad indefinitely and got in front of Martin for a second.
oh yeah, and it's crazy that Martin and Brad was just running up front the whole race.
Yeah.
And as mentioned, Petco obviously was a 6 on the grid, but first couple of laps he
He's
was rubbing
chilling.
paint with a lot of
Yeah.
riders, and he had to find his way through. Obviously playing conservative,
So
but he had to fight a long way. And
yeah. So
he almost had a chance.
you're thinking if he had a better start and got up front quicker, it might have been a different story. Yeah, because he would have, listen.
Oh yeah,
Look, listen, man. If you
oh
get
yeah.
a lot of riders will say, if I had one more lap, if I had one more lap.
I mean, if Petco and Brad Binder had one more lap, Martin would probably be in third.
Yeah, yeah. I'll listen, man. I'm a,
Did you see that burst that Petco had, like coming into one of the last corners, like second or the last lap? I don't know if you remember
yeah. That's what I'm
that.
talking about. That like how
Yeah,
quickly he passed them real quick, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
like what, like oh, so yeah, that was. I thought he had it. I thought he was talking about
Oh no,
when
wait, no,
Brad Binder was trying to pass him.
that was the last lap. That was the last lap. I think he did that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I thought
But
he was talking about when Brad Binder tried to pass him, and then Petco tried to sneak up under as well. I thought,
yeah. No, it was fun to watch. Like I said, it's better when there's a dogfight than when it's just when the guy's just running 3 seconds up. As the rider, you want to be up front, but as a fan, you want to see mixing up and matching up. They should just put all the Ducatis on the grid. That's it. It's all Ducatis. Let's see what happens.
oh, yeah. I mean, they're gonna have to change him like Moto 2, at least make him look cool.
Right. Oh, for sure, for sure.
The Moto 2 bikes look,
right, and
look cool designs and
right, and you do see that in Moto 2. Granted, I think there are 3 different frames out there, so I guess you get that difference. But you know what I mean. But you see that with the same engine and what's going on with these riders. And again, those riders, I mean, between first and 22 is like again minute and a half. Second and a half. It's ridiculous. So it's crazy to see what the Ducatis are doing and these riders are doing. And for Pecco, he has to win this year because next year it's gonna be ugly. Gonna be ugly.
I know he's playing conservative, but I also think he's nervous.
Gotta be.
That's just me.
Come on, you gotta be. Yeah.
I mean, everyone's nervous out there, but I think it's like he's almost sick.
Pecco? No, I think the fact that he won the first one, and I think that he has Rossi in his corner and other people in his corner. I think they're telling him to keep calm, and hopefully he'll put his trust in them. And be calm. And I think you saw that this past weekend. Even after the sprint, he didn't come out on Sunday being erratic or anything like that. He kept his cool, and the universe gave him second place, right? And so I think that because it could have been a lot worse, for sure. Definitely could have been worse than that. And Martin had to ride his ass off, like you said, to get 5 more points than Pecco. So there's also, what I'm saying, the pressure's gonna be on Martin because he's just like, come on, I was a beast. And I got 5 points. So you know what I mean.
Right.
So it's like Pecco just needs to be in second. If he's close to him for the rest of the season, what he got 18 points in 3 rounds. And
Brad Binder.
Yeah, and some of the long rounds, some of the longer races, we'll see. I don't think Pecco can stay conservative for the rest of the races. As you were alluding to, he's gonna have to, he's gonna have to come out here and beast up. And I guess you got to know when you don't have it. So maybe he knew he didn't have it that round, and it's what it is. But he's gonna have to come out and step in somebody's chest.
Another thing is they have some fast tracks coming up, but he's going against Ducatis.
Yeah,
his competition.
So we'll see.
They have Sale and this Sepang. Those tracks are Ducati friendly.
And I'll say this: it's crazy because I think Martin is from what I can tell is lighter than Pecco, so he should be able to manage the tire better. I don't know if he can be talking to Pedrosa, but I'd be talking. Well, he can definitely be talking to Alvaro. Like he should be picking Alvaro's brain. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because them dudes are probably close to the same height. And if he figures out how to manage the tire like Alvaro, it's gonna be a long time coming before somebody come in and beat him just because of his weight and his skill set.
Yeah, that's a fun guy to watch too. Shout out to Albert Bautista for
Yeah,
winning
2 for 2,
2 years in
baby.
a row. 2 years in a row.
You know what I'm saying? And he made motorcycle. He made World Superbike a little bit not fun to watch. A shout out to Top Rock because he gave him a fight. He gave him a fight. He gave him a fight like nobody's business. He's the only one that gave him a fight.
Yeah,
So
Top Rack was one that was talked about for that one to see in MotoGP and one of the top dogs, and Bautista just 2 years in a row on him.
yeah, and Bautista will get another year, right? Because unless Top Rock can figure out that BMW, who's gonna beat him? Like the Panigale is getting better. So
Yeah,
like who Yamaha, yeah, step up the game. Kawi, yeah, game got to step up. Honda, y'all got to bring it.
Yamaha definitely has to step up the game. Jumping back to GP, as you said, Fabio, if they don't make any changes, he's gonna have to make some decisions coming 2025. And keep replaying that video.
Yeah, I don't know who Fabio is gonna listen. Whose seat he's gonna take? He can't.
By that time, he'll find a Ducati seat.
Yeah, he gonna start his own bike. No, it's unfortunate that this is happening. It's good for Ducati. It's good to see all these riders because MotoGP is the best it's been. It's really good to see like, okay, 8 guys on a bike. Look what happens, right? That's really dope to see. The disadvantage is that you see the Hondas suffering, you see the Yamaha suffering. And well, there are only 2 that's really suffering, right? But you do see that. So that's kind of like if you're a fan of the Marquez or Joan Mir, Fabio. I'm a fan of Frankie, and to see them guys struggling, and they got the skill, right? You know what I'm saying. If you got the merch, you believe in them, but it's tough to see. But that's always been part of motorcycle riding, though. You know what I'm saying? From the beginning, some people were just on superior bikes. So, what do you think about Marc Marquez moving over to Ducati, and how do you think his test is going to go the day after the season's over?
To be honest, I think he can't wait. I know he's super excited. He's very seems like mellow about the situation, but I think it's going to go well. I think once he figured it out, he's going to be the man probably to beat. But I think he's going to still continue his qualifying ways, I must say.
When you say qualifying ways, you mean chasing everybody, following everybody else around, looking for a toe?
Oh yeah, I mean it's every race, and it affects other riders. You can see, even though, as you said before, they should just go on with it because he doesn't matter. But it does affect the person that is being told. So
right, and we've seen that happen with Miller, with Vinales, and you see what's going on with when he tried to jump on the back. I think it was Pecco in the last round. It's very difficult, and I don't know if they're going to put in rules to change that for next season. I do think that he's probably going to adapt to the bike fairly quickly because, I think these last 3 years for him was very frustrating, and he wants to feel good on the bike again. So I think he's gonna adjust quickly. But what do you think?
Yeah, I think he just, like you said, he wants a clean slate. He's very frustrated with this Honda. I feel like he's over it. Now that he has a new destination coming soon, it's just a much better feeling. So I think he will adjust very fast. As you said, the qualifying times, like I feel bad for Jack Miller in Q1, where he didn't want to be followed by Marc Marquez, and he happened to just be followed, and Marc Marquez went into Q2, and right. Jack Miller didn't. Yeah. So with the Ducati, like you said, the bike's going to be much easier to handle probably for him, and his braking ability will probably match the bike. So I think he'll adjust very fast. But again, I still think he's going to. No, I don't know about right away, but the testing I think will go well. Right. I know he's looking forward to that.
Yeah, I think that's going to be the big takeaway, and unfortunately, they're not letting reporters in to watch testing. So I don't. It's how much information they provide to the public, which is unfortunate. I get it. Probably MotoGP want to take control of the content that they're putting out, but that's going to be the downside. It's just kind of like this is going to happen, and it's just going to be rumored until the first round next year.
Yep, and that's what we had to go through this past off season where they weren't allowing reporters in for the first time. And as fans, we're interested in seeing results and how riders feel for the season. And now we're gonna have to sit and wait, like you said before, round one.
Yeah.
But hopefully that changes. We might have to pay somebody to get a little sneak peek or something.
We might have to show up, man, with some long zoom cameras and see what we can get from across the way, or binoculars or something. Because I think round one it will probably want to be one of the biggest online events, just to see what Marc Marquez does on that Ducati next season.
Yeah, and then the publicity he makes, just being with Honda so long, it's just like the same but new beginning.
Right.
It's just gonna be that much attention, and you got Pedro Acosta coming up, and I think MotoGP is gonna be on fire next year.
Yeah, no, definitely gonna be on fire. We're still waiting to figure out what's gonna happen to Antonio. I think he's gonna get that Marc Marquez seat. Zarco don't want to go anywhere, and it looks like Luca Ono is staying in the World Superbike side of things. So it looks like I'm rooting for Antonio because he is he's a good rider, and I just don't and I think if Pedro wasn't in the equation, he would have stayed in Gresini. Not Gresini.
Yeah.
I guess he probably still, if Marc Marquez wanted to go to Gresini, he would have lost the seat anyway. Like that I don't see Gresini saying, "Hey, we're not going to take Marc Marquez." Like it's just, this is,
But how did that scenario play out? Like, didn't the seat freed up that allowed Marc in, right?
Yeah. So and now Marc's seat's freed up. So I think Antonio is going to get that. But like I said, he's a good rider, and he's shown that he has the talent these last few rounds. I know he wished he would have shown it sooner, because he probably could have saved his seat. But in this instance, it is what it is. But hopefully, if he goes over to Honda and Honda sorts their self out in 2 years or 3 years, it could be different for him.
Yeah, that's true. So do you think that Marc would have bullied him out of the seat, knowing that Marc wanted out?
Oh, that's what happened. I mean, that's what happened.
Oh no, I thought it was like the seat was available, then the market was able to get into it.
I think if Marquez didn't want the Ducati seat, he would have. Gian Antonio would still be in moto with the team. I honestly believe that because, who would you have taken? Paul Espargaro. I mean, who would you have taken? Because everyone else is staying in MotoGP, right? It's only Gian Antonio is the only person that was getting booted. And Paul Espargaro as well, but he's still got a contract, so he's a backup rider, so he's not booted, but he's on a bench, and so what I'm saying. So what I mean. So I don't, he did get booted because Marquez wanted that seat. So.
Yeah, Marc's time was also coming to a crunch. He had very limited choices at one point, and then the move was made. So that's I didn't know if that was like a quick decision by Gresini to be like, all right, we got to take Marc.
Yeah, I think they want to win. You know what I'm saying? I think they want to win. And, here's a chance for them to get a world title. And this might be the best chance for them to get a world title, right?
Oh, yeah.
Think about that. Because most riders like Bastianini, they left to a more prominent team, for lack of a better word. So honestly, they're the feeder system, bringing guys in, getting up to speed. Once they start to show their talent, then other teams are snatching them up. So honestly, this year will give them the greatest chance to. Or next year will give them the greatest chance to get a world title in the Gresini.
Yeah, and what a better way with riding with your brother.
Well, yeah, look, I think regardless if it wasn't his brother there, the Ducati family, the riders realize that we're a family and we're all sharing information and it's all going to make us better. So I think either way, and Alex Marquez is not the fastest guy out there. So, but I think either way, it would have been a good look for him because Ducati's figured it out. Aprilia has figured it out. They're all sharing data. KTM, they're all figured it out. So I think either way, obviously it's nice when it's your brother because y'all can travel together and do everything together and chop it up together. Like how it was when Alex was on the factory team for a season. So that's going to be good for him. But it's going to be how quickly he gets that he wrestles that Ducati.
I mean, like we've seen the improvement from when his brother jumped to Ducati
right away,
right away, and because Alex wasn't really that strong on the Honda before,
right?
He was always crashing out like all the Hondas do, and it just performance wasn't there. He would be in the front runner occasionally.
Right.
But right when he went to the Ducati, we seen an improvement
right away.
Too bad that he has rib injuries and a couple injuries going on that's had to pull out a few races. But
that's the thing I would say between Alex Marquez and Enea Bastianini, those are the two guys that were injured that really didn't have it. I know they're both happy to can't wait for 2023 to be over because going into the season, I'm pretty sure neither one of them thought they would be having the season they had with the injuries and such and injuries. I mean,
right?
This last Bastianini's injury, the last one was caused by him, but not the first one. And Alex Marquez. So those guys, I think if they had a healthy season, it could have been. It could have been instead of just 3 guys fighting for the championship, it could have been 5 guys fighting for the championship.
Oh yeah,
you know what I mean. If because Marquez was like Alex when he came out, he was doing all right. He still didn't figure things out, but he was still pushing top 6. So and he was on the podium early. So that's the downside of those 2 guys getting injured because it could have been a whole different series if those 2 guys were healthy.
Oh yeah, and I was definitely looking forward to Bastianini having a good season. And this past race, it was just not a good sight to see him in like the 20th place, running around the track.
Right.
Just because of his injury. So I'm just shooting for him to have a better season next year. I mean, like I said, there's so much talent coming out next year. We still got a long way to go with this year, but next year it's going to be
season's not over yet.
It's going to be a big one.
So
it's not over by a long shot.
Yeah, no, it's not over yet. So that's the beautiful part about it. Looking forward to that. So so I mean, next round. Do you have any predictions for the next round for MotoGP?
I got to shoot for my boy Harry Martin.
Okay.
He's on a roll. I just want to see the challenge put on Pecco.
Yeah.
So
no doubt.
I kind of like the challenge. Like how we said, sometimes the rounds, you'll be the champion before the season's over.
Right.
So like it's still going. Yeah. So I want to see the challenge still go maybe to the end of the season. So to allow who's in third place?
Bezecchi.
Okay, yeah. So he's I don't know how much fight he still has, how far away, but if he does good these next couple races and sprints, it'll be a good end of the season. But I'm rooting for Jorge. How about you?
I'm rooting for Pecco, man. I'm rooting for the VR46 guys. I not to say I'm not rooting for Martin, because he's definitely figured his way out and stuff like that. But I was already rooting for Pecco from the beginning of the year, so.
We know.
Either way, I'm not losing because a Ducati's going to win the title. So I'm not. There's no loss. I mean, Ducati's sitting here like, who can be mad at Ducati right now? What I'm saying? It's just kind of like, oh yeah, you want Pecco to win, but you're not going to be sad if Martin won, right? You still get a title. Nah. You know what I'm saying? It's like, so it's one of those things. Like they're sitting here like, we can't lose.
They're in a good position for sure. I know they're drowning and dreaming over the situation they're in, just in pure happiness.
Right.
Because either way they roll the dice, someone on their factory has a chance.
No doubt. No doubt.
But yeah, Pecco, it's good. It's going to be great to see what he has in him when it really comes down to it.
Right.
Like I said, I think he's playing conservative, but when it comes down to him, he can't do that anymore.
Right.
It's going to be interesting.
Yeah. No, I agree. Like these next few rounds, Pecco has to turn into Valentino Rossi. He has to turn into Michael Jordan. He has to turn into Kobe Bryant, and I'm gonna leave it there, right? Because that's what if he doesn't turn into that, there's a new sheriff in town.
Yeah, he needs to qualify. He needs to be Q2 row 1.
Yeah,
like he was before. You don't need the row 2 only starting Q1. We can't. He needs to just come out and just do it.
Yeah, and this is the thing. Like if he pulls it off, he's a legend. Like he's a legend if he pulls this off. You know what I'm saying? Back to back and fighting against somebody who is going to be tough next year. I think it's relatively new. I won't even call it a rivalry, right? But it's relatively new. The competition with these guys, where with Valentino Rossi and Marc Marquez and Lorenzo, we had a lot of time to see those guys ride and battle with one another. But last weekend race is going to go down one of the best races in a long time. You know what I mean? Oh, yeah. And when you look at it, when you watch what was going on, and so I do believe that if Pecco can hold it together and dominate these next few rounds, it doesn't matter what happens in 2024, 25, or 26 or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, I'm sure he might want to get more titles, but back to back, you defended it well. You didn't buckle under pressure like 2022 in the beginning of the season, 2022 in the beginning of the season and stuff like that with all those crashes. This year, you came out and did your thing. I mean, obviously, no one's going to have a perfect season. So you are going to have crashes and stuff like that. That high side by himself, Ducati hasn't come out and said it was a mechanical or anything like that. If that high side didn't happen, it would be different, right? It would have been different because he had a few races where he was jacked up and he still came out and did well, but he would have won that race, and the points would have been different right now. So he's still got a ways to go, but I do believe if he holds it down and comes out on top at the end of the season, they're going to be making the Bagnaia Ducati bike like they are, for these other guys that got bikes out now.
I've never thought of too that sprint race that they discontinued, and that's 9 points on the table right there.
Yeah.
So hopefully that doesn't come and bite them at the end.
Well,
because Jorge Martin's the pole master.
Yeah.
So Pecco knows that, and he already knows he has to come out strong.
Got
Martin is trying to get that pole.
I do think that the strategy of more figuring out the race distance than where he lines up in the pole position or in the grid. I think it helps for the races because you see it in the races, but he has to find some way to give more time to his qualifying because he has to be in the first 2 rows.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. But yeah, it's gonna be interesting where we headed next. We are flip to the calendar. We're on our way to Malaysia.
I like Malaysia.
That's another Ducati-friendly track.
Yeah, no, it is. It's not a track that I really don't like.
You can stick a fork into the Hondas and stick a fork into the Yamahas. Yeah, done for the year.
Look,
officially.
I wouldn't rule Marquez and Quartararo out because they could be spoilers. But yeah, no, it's gonna be really hard. I mean, I think tracks that are shorter with more turns, they got a better chance than tracks that got more straightaways, right?
Yeah, I mean the only one they got left is Valencia.
Yeah, that's probably it.
Yeah. We're going to Qatar after Malaysia. So.
Oh yeah, no, Ducati's gonna take that. Ducati's gonna take that.
Oh yeah, I just remember when Suzuki was around on Qatar, that straightaway that they were like standing still versus the Ducati.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
and it was just, and they'll catch back up to him in the corners because they're more corner friendly, like the Yamahas. But that straightaway was definitely Ducati's territory.
No doubt. Well, there you have it, folks. My name is Rex45.
My name is TJ with Two L's and Coffee.
Let's shout out all the sponsors: GoPro, Motul, Agio.